I'm really not looking at it that way. At this point, we're just trying to focus on getting better every day. Once these games hit, then it becomes a little more scout mode, if you will, rather than, your own team. We know that, the players know that. So, that part of the planning stages are basically over. Today we'll be preparing for UTEP, play the game, and then Wednesday prepare for Southern, play the game, and on and on and on. So, we're guaranteed 32 games. We've got one under our belt. It's a marathon season, and our mentality is, to try to win every game. To really prepare hard, to put our players in the best position possible, and regardless of the outcome, we'll get up Wednesday morning and try to get ready for Thursday's game, and that's the way it'll be all season long.
How much improved is this UTEP team when you look at that? Probably limited on film, but just from what you've heard and what you've seen, how much improved are they?
Yeah, I don't think you can compare them to last year's team. It's a whole different animal in terms of the quality of players that they have currently in their program. And the thing about it is, for them, they're really not new. Most of the new guys practiced last year. So they've got a year under their belt in terms of their expectations on a daily basis, their system, their terminology, how they play. Getting a new player that doesn't have that kind of experience is a whole different deal. And that'll make it a much easier transition for them into this year. But the one game, obviously, that we have, the exhibition game, you can just tell from that it's just a different team. It doesn't even resemble last year's team, and I understand why they're really excited over there.
What have you seen out of the team this week in practice, Coach?
Typical, we have good segments, bad segments, good plays, bad plays. But the games are envisioned. We talked about that yesterday, that for the players, that's more fun. That's why they do what they do year round, to get to the games. And I expect them today to have a little more bounce in their step, and as these games are here. As coaches, certainly you want more time on the practice court, but that's not the way it works. And we'll tip it up tomorrow, and I'm sure both teams will be very excited.
Health-wise, obviously has been an area of concern for you, but as far as this rivalry game is concerned, do you feel like you have a little bit of an advantage over UTEP, where UTEP's still kind of learning how to play together, where you guys have obviously had a season with most of these same guys, minus obviously a couple injuries?
No. Like I said earlier, their guys were there for a whole year, and so they understand their system. They understand each other. A lot of those new guys probably played on the scout team last year, so they developed some chemistry that way. And then, if you look at our team right now compared to what it was last year, we've got a lot of newness as well because of the injury situation. So I don't think, we have an advantage when it comes to that.
Coach, do you feel like your guys thrive off a big environment, a big game, a good atmosphere? I recall the UNM road game last year when they were just feeding off the crowd. Do you see that consistently?
Last year's team did. They enjoyed the rowdy environments. For whatever reason, that version of the Aggies definitely played some of their best in foreign territory where there were more people and it was louder for whatever reason. But like I've been telling them this week, that's last year's version of the Aggies. Like this year's version is different, and we haven't done anything. And to be honest, because of all the situations and injuries that are going on, the scrimmages that we've had, the two close scrimmages, and then the one Division II game, we've had 3 opportunities to go against other programs, and we're not close to last year's version of the Aggies. And that's what I keep telling them in this film room, that that version isn't walking through the door. This is our team right now, and some of these guys aren't going to heal quickly, magically, and we've got to get this year's team to perform at the level of expectations that we have, that they have, that our fans have. But until at this point, we're certainly not there yet.
What is this rivalry to you? Obviously you've had great success so far in this rivalry, but it's definitely storied. It's been back and forth, a little bit more one-sided lately. But what is this rivalry all about?
Well, just the obvious. I mean, the proximity schools, the fact that we play each other twice a season outside of conference play is unheard of. I don't know of any other programs that do that on the regular like these two programs do. And then for us to do it with New Mexico as well, to have 4 built-in games, I mean, that's roughly 25% of your non-league games. So it's a big deal. I mean, you can even put the rivalry aside. It's a big deal because you're playing those teams that many times every season, and then you add, the historical perspective on it. And, I love hearing about back in the day stories, when Coach Henson and Coach Haskins were coaching. And I love hearing about all those games and, situations and, just the fun stories that come out of those rivalry games. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I love these games. Since we've arrived, we've made these games important. And I think, everybody does. I mean, it's no secret that these games are big for the fan bases, for water cooler rights, if you will. And, so we expect a raucous atmosphere tomorrow.
Are these guys excited for the game?
Yeah, I think so. I'm certainly will be tomorrow. Probably one of those games where, as a coach, you're trying to calm them down a little bit more than you are to get them excited. But in my experience, after 2-3 minutes, everyone will settle down and play basketball, and whoever plays best will win.
Coach, I know it can change on a day-to-day basis with an injury like a groin, but what's Terrell Brown's status as of right now?
I haven't seen him today. I haven't talked to the trainer today. He's still in a major struggle with it. And the thing with that injury, it's a nagging injury. It can be aggravated quickly. And, certainly this is a big game for us. But at the same time, we've got to be mindful of the fact that we got to play, 30 more games at least, 31 more games at least, with Terrell. So, I'm not sure what his status will be come tomorrow. But, at the end of the day, him and the trainers and the doctors will make those decisions, and they'll tell me who's in or out.
Aside from the ones we already know about, obviously anyone else that you're concerned about injury-wise?
Terrell Brown, like we talked about, and then Yvonne's been struggling with an ankle sprain. We're hoping, game day adrenaline, etc. But again, he hasn't practiced the last couple of days either. So we've been very thin lately. We've had to be very creative to be productive in practice. But we can't. It is what it is, and hopefully those guys will get healthy soon.
Coach Sutherland had a great season last year. He didn't play in this rivalry last season. He came on later. You got to be excited about his perspective about taking on this rival for the first time. Yeah,
we'll see. It's nice to have him all year long, that's for sure. How he performs, in these rivalry games remains to be seen. But certainly with the situation we're in, he's going to be looked upon to be a major player for us, if we want to win against, really, really good teams, especially on the road. So hopefully he'll play well tomorrow.
What would be the keys for you guys if you had to put your finger on one or two things against this UTEP team? What do you need to do well tomorrow night to come out with a win?
For us, it's real simple. I mean, certainly everyone's game planning and trying to, take away their strengths and, hide your weaknesses, et cetera. But at the end of the day, we just try to lean on, playing really good defense, allowing people one shot. And then on the other end, just, taking care of the ball and getting as good a shot as we can. I mean, at the end of the day, you can, make it harder than it is. And really, it's a simple game if you look at it that way. And that's kind of our focus. And it will be tomorrow, and we'll be Thursday, and we'll be Sunday, and on.
Regarding the home crowd, Coach, how encouraging was it to see the students really show out for that opener?
Yeah, it was awesome. I was pleasantly surprised. Didn't expect that. I thought the crowd in general for that opener was great. Hopefully that will continue, as the competition takes an uptick. But certainly the student section is the one that normally makes, the most noise, if you will, and bothers the opponent the most because of where they're seated. So hopefully they'll continue to come out and support this team.
I think just looking forward, and I know you don't like to do this, but just the opportunity also to go play at U of A in Tucson, and just, you know, an opportunity like that against a Power 5 program, those are obviously opportunities for any mid-major team like yourselves.
I'm in a bad enough mood worrying about playing against UTEP over there with the situation we're in, and now you got to bring up trying to go over there. I haven't thought about it that much, to be honest with you. You know, certainly we all know, you know, our games, you know, but we haven't talked about it as a staff. We haven't talked about it as a program. I noticed last night they beat up Illinois pretty good, and I watched a few of the highlights like a fan. But you know, we'll hopefully you know, dive into them a little bit later, and certainly when we get to that point, you know, again, hopefully this version of the Aggies, this year's team currently, will be a team that likes to play in those environments. Because if not, we're going to have some, you know, take some big lumps in the fall because of our schedule.
So I know you guys are running thin right now because of injuries and whatnot, but talk about the performance from the first game. What did you like from that game?
I thought they played together. You know, I thought they shared the ball. I thought you saw some lingering carryover from last year in terms of supporting one another on the bench. I thought there were some positives that way. We had a lot of negatives. You know, our defense didn't nearly have the bite that it had a year ago. We were out of position a lot. We shot free throws well. That was a big plus. But like I said, post game, you know, there wasn't anything riding on it, and you know, you and I could probably go out there and make those when the game's in hand. But certainly, it's better to you know, make them early and get some confidence than be behind the 8 ball to start.
More questions for Coach? Coach, has that been giving you guys any inside scoops on the best places to eat in town, or what? You guys sit out there.
We don't stay over there, you know, with being so close. We just get up tomorrow morning and go over and do our shoot around and spend a half a day in a hotel preparing for the game. But because it's so close, you know, we just choose to sleep in our own beds, and it's worked thus far. All right, guys, thanks.
Thank you, guys.